Hey, what is going on, guys? Welcome to the Take It With a Grain podcast. This is episode 8, and we're going to cover our 3 topics like we usually do. I know we covered the buyers and sellers the last 2 times that we've been on air, so we're going to jump back into 3 pretty good topics that we've had going on here recently. So, again, dude, last night I got probably the worst sleep I've gotten in a long time.
Same.
And not only because the OKC Thunder were in town and they kept us up all night watching that. Unfortunately lost in game 1 to the Spurs.
Double overtime.
In double overtime. So they made it interesting, but they kept us up late. Yes. And then this morning, the Thunder woke me up again. So different Thunder that we're talking about there. Our 10-day forecast for this week and the rest of, the beginning of next is just all rain, all thunder,
a lot of rain.
So again, hopefully nothing severe happening.
Yeah, weather thunder and OKC Thunder.
Yeah,
playing
all at the same time.
All the thunder.
So they're playing again Wednesday. That'd be what? Today's the 19th, so the 20th of May. They play again in OKC. And then they go on the road to San Antonio for game 3.
Yep.
But I wanted to talk about, I know you're watching it pretty religiously and have been since they've started, but where do you see this season ending up for them? Because I know they won it last year.
Well, our record against the Spurs is rough.
Yeah, it is.
So we have not, in regular season games, we did not historically play well against the Spurs.
Yeah.
So it's going to be interesting run.
Yeah. I mean, fill me in because I don't really follow the NBA that closely, and maybe you know more about this, but the Spurs and the Thunder are pretty much rival. I mean, just because of their geographical location.
Yeah, well, and they're ranked 1 and 2.
Yeah.
And then we are close in proximity, and I think, don't quote me, I should have looked this up. But I know that the Thunder have lost more games against the Spurs this season than they've lost against anyone else.
All in all, though, the Thunder were 64-18 through the regular season.
Yeah, and most 18 were probably the Spurs.
Yeah. So, I mean, you look at that record, and you're like, man, they should be winning just about 3/4 of the games that they play.
Which the Spurs have the tallest. I believe he is the tallest player in the NBA
is right that now. Alexander?
Wemby,
okay.
Yeah. So he's 7'6" or 7'4" or 7'6".
Ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean, even some of our tall players, he's still a full head taller than. So his reach,
his wingspan is insane.
His reach is crazy, and it's I will say Chet did block one of his shots last night.
I did see that part.
That was impressive. Yeah. Which, I mean, he only blocked it though because
I'm blanking too. It's okay. Like I said, I
Caruso. Really, Caruso kind of swatted the ball a little bit first, and if Caruso hadn't have made that touch,
got an arm in there,
then there's no way. But that adds a whole other layer to it. I mean, you can't block his shots. I mean, no one can reach And then one of the plays there at the end where they threw the ball and he caught it and dunked it. There's one player in the NBA that could catch that ball, and it is that play.
Right, exactly.
So there's that factor, and I think that throws our boys off. Mm-hmm. And then Shea was off. Last night too, so
which is very uncharacteristic for him. But I mean, you do have that. Almost freak of nature on the other side of the court. So it's how do you compete with that?
You don't know how to defend against that. And I think overall, I mean, they did a good job. It's just we couldn't hit any shots. We were super off on offense. I think they did okay on defense. Obviously, we've got room for improvement there. But
so it sounds like to me, I mean, because I'm still kind of your average, I watch it because it's Oklahoma. It's Oklahoma City, I don't really follow the regular season stuff, but do you think that if they beat the Spurs in this 7-game series that they're going to move on to the finals and win it all?
Yeah.
Because I don't think there's another
If they can survive, my opinion is if they can survive these games against the Spurs and come out on top, then they'll they'll go and win it. I think this is going to be the toughest run for them.
Possibly have a repeat because they won it last year, and I don't know. I didn't follow it as much last year, but they played the Spurs in the playoffs last year, right?
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
Don't quote me, but I think they did.
Yeah.
But then the previous time to them winning the NBA Finals was 1979. It was nearly 50 years ago. So, like, what does that do to a team that, again, had that long of a drought to then go and repeat?
Well,
just in general.
And don't quote me on this, but I think that the Spurs and the Thunder are the two youngest teams in the NBA right now, too. So, I mean, these two teams rivaling is probably for years to come.
Right.
You know, if they kind of keep their rosters.
Yeah. It's really strange because in, the early days of the NBA, you had like the Heat and the Lakers. I mean, the Lakers are still a relevant team, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
but like you don't think of like your Midwestern or even Southern, basketball teams or really any sports teams besides football being, super popular and having a big impact on their territory.
I think that a lot of the Thunder like traction and like where the attention comes from is they are young. I mean, they're a super young team, and with that, they're likely to be relevant for
a long time. Yeah. So what do you think that does for the OKC area as far as like from an economical standpoint or even just like in the real estate industry? Do you think that gives us like a bigger target, like people are actually looking at us?
Yeah, I think it kind of put Oklahoma City back on the map. I mean, we haven't had a professional sports team in, I don't know.
Ever?
Ever.
Yeah, like a major sports team because there are only one. We don't have baseball or football or hockey or anything.
Yeah, so it just kind of like made OKC a little bit more relevant, I think, in general. Which brings business in, brings people into town for the games. It makes people like actually pay attention to Oklahoma City. Like if they're just like, well, I want to move to somewhere, and it actually might make OKC cross their mind if there's somebody who does follow basketball where maybe before it wouldn't have.
Right.
So there's that, and then I think the biggest thing is just the economic side of it, bringing people into town for games.
Especially once it gets to the finals, because those games are, 2 games here, 2 games away, and then they'll alternate.
Well, the fun thing about playing in San Antonio, it's 8-hour drive?
Yeah.
8-9-hour drive. So a lot of your fans are probably, your diehard fans are going to
in that area, and they're going to
that
both.
trip and hit all of those games. So that'll pull some people into town too, just being like, you don't have to jump on a plane to go watch those games.
It's not like it's the Heat and the Lakers going up against each other and you're going cross country every time. So
which is good for the players too, I think. Like they're not going to have as crazy travel back and forth, which is good for them.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that helps the entire really economic standpoint of Oklahoma City. Like you said, it gets more eyes on the area, but you're also seeing all the people coming out from other places because there's OKC fans everywhere, especially recently that, call them bandwagon if you want to, but last year they win the championship. I think that they saw a huge jump in popularity after that. So
my nephew lives in Minnesota, and so we have a good Timberwolves Thunder rivalry going on. So I like to ship him a good OKC Thunder gift every once in a while.
Yeah,
probably about to send one out actually.
Yeah, you got to, especially if they win against San Antonio. I feel like for some reason I was thinking when I think of the Spurs, I think of LA, and I almost said that when we first started recording, and I was like, that would have been terrible, but. San Antonio.
I'm like, why is Dylan talking about basketball?
Right, yeah. Don't get me talking about that. But they're squaring off. Again, that next game is on Wednesday. We're recording this on Tuesday, so again, they might have...
Game 2 will have been played by the time this
Game 2, 3, and maybe 4.
Yeah,
so
there will be a few games by the time this airs.
Yeah, the Thunder can't technically have won yet, so we're going to cross our fingers, and then we might be talking about it again on the next podcast. Maybe it's Game 7 we're talking about, and we'll see. We're crossing our fingers over here. So our next kind of segment of the podcast is something that's happened more on a more hyper local level. This happens all over the state and all over the country, really.
It does.
But it's something that especially recently, some of my neighbors across the Highway 29 corridor have been running into, or they've been getting notices from ODOT, the Oklahoma Department of Transportation, basically notifying them that there's going to be a highway expansion project going on.
Yes.
So I wanted to get your opinion on it since you've seen stuff like that happen. I mean, what does that process look like from the time they're notified to, again, we don't know any specific timelines on this Highway 29 project, but
it's dialing in.
Yeah.
Starting to dial in. The surveys have been done. So if you drive down, so what they're doing, for reference, if anybody watching doesn't know what's happening, so they're expanding the highway from 2 lanes to 4 from, I think it's like just past like the high school in Wynnewood all the way down to Highway 177.
Yeah.
And I'm getting that information just from driving through. That's where I see the stake stop.
Right.
So that's just where I've noticed like the survey stakes kind of end is like right there by the bus barn at the high school in Wynnewood. So they're expanding that out to 4 lanes. I think you have as well, but I've been in contact with several people who have received those ODOT notices. Some just with questions of like, what does this mean? What does this look like? How does this work? And then others that are like, I know I'm going to have to move.
Right,
like,
exactly.
You know, I'm for sure that I'm going to have to move. So let's go look at some houses.
Right, yeah. They're making that conscious decision that something is going to change, and they're getting ready for that to happen.
Yeah, and from what I know, and this is just from talking to clients that are currently navigating this situation, kind of the stage they're at right now is they're in the process of appraisers coming out. So one of the things that they do in this process is they have lay the survey stakes, and then
have already went out.
Those are out, so they did that, and then what you have to think about outside of the edge of those survey stakes is there's going to be access easements past that. So you got to look at the survey stake, and then the easement, and then how close does that get into where a house is currently? Does it get it so close that it diminishes the property value of that home?
Right.
There's some homes across there that I know that have like a shop that basically that highway easement is going to butt up to
and you can't have that.
The shop.
Yeah.
So, and also to the house, or like there's going to be like a sliver of a front yard left.
Right.
You know, and so what happens is like, no, is the house technically in there? No.
Right.
But is it so close to it that it's going to diminish the property value
to the point that,
I mean, it's never going to be sold. I mean, who wants to buy a house that the highway is literally like
4
right here
feet
in
from
your front yard?
Your front yard is the highway now.
Yeah, so even if it doesn't actually go all the way into the house, they have to look at what does it do to the property value. And so at that point, what happens next, and kind of the phase that they're in now, or at least some of them from the conversations I've had with clients, is appraisers are starting to come out.
Yeah.
So they're sending those appraisers out. They're looking at those property lines. They're appraising the property. Once the appraisals all get done, the next step will be ODOT will send out offers.
Yeah.
And it'll either be, you know, we're going to pay you for the part of your property that we're taking, or we're going to make you an offer on the whole thing because we need to tear your house down.
Right.
Or we're going to completely diminish the value of your property.
Right.
Stuff like that.
So initially, like you said, we're going to do the stakes. We have the appraiser come out. He's just trying to get an estimate on the value.
Yeah. And whether it's like a sliver of the yard or it's the whole thing.
And we'll be able to explain, you know, the whole process and how what's going to work with it. But then also how much of that, like you said, because there's those access easements on top of where that
the highway's actually going to end,
that
plus
highway.
The easement.
Yeah. So once they get their offer, I mean, can that be negotiated in most cases?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. You can usually negotiate those. Kind of depends. Like I've had clients in the past that had the situation happen with the turnpike, and they pretty much did not negotiate on those.
Right.
But you can always try.
Right.
You know, there's always everything in life is negotiable in some way.
Yes,
So,
absolutely.
You can always try to negotiate those, but where a lot of the question is coming in for my clients that I'm talking to that are dealing with this situation right now is timelines.
Yeah.
And that's where we really don't have the answers right this second on that is, once we have an agreement, how long do they have to get out? When are they going to get their money? Because most of these people are going to need the money from that sale to purchase
Correct.
their new home.
Correct. Yeah. Absolutely. A lot of people, as like you said, just driving through town, you can see those markers. And there's a lot of people that it's, like you said, it's cutting off some of their yard, like their front yard, especially the homes in town. But on the more rural side, after you get closer to 177, there's a lot of fence line there too that is going to have to be moved or like moved back. So there's a lot of people being impacted in different levels of severity.
A commercial space right there on the highway that has a pipe fence. They're gonna have to move, so they're gonna have to, it's a commercial yard and it's got pipe fence all the way around, but they're gonna have to take up that pipe fence and move it back. So.
But yeah, I don't know timeline wise, like we said, we don't know when that's going to all be taking place, but we'll try to keep everybody updated on that because that is probably one of the biggest questions. More of than like, where in
it's timeline. So like once they get their offer, once they have an agreement, how long is it going to take to get their money?
Right.
How long are they going to have to actually move out of the property? All those things. That's what we don't know right now. Right. So we do have the new construction homes there in Wynnewood. So I know a few of the people that are in that position of losing their home are looking at those.
Right.
Which would be great. We would love to get those people into those homes. The problem is right now we just don't know.
There's just a lot of unknowns. Like. Yeah. So I mean, really, the biggest thing, we'll try to keep you guys informed on what that's going to look like going forward. Again, we've heard speculative dates, and I'm sure that those are rumors going around right now. It's really hard to nail down that timeline.
Yeah, and if you're one of the people that are being affected by that and we can help you in any way, don't hesitate to reach out to us too.
Yeah, because that's a huge change. But I do think...
be happy to help navigate that process as best we can.
Yeah. I think it's weird too because there's going to be a lot of expansion heading this way because we're seeing that like Blanchard and areas like that where like the Tri-Cities up there are rapidly expanding. I heard they're putting up a golf course up that way but it's really kind of weird to see that happen in a small town because we don't get that like big of expansion projects that often. So it makes you really wonder like what like the 30-year plan for how our area looks like. If we're increasing that
infrastructure right now, what does that look like?
Yeah. It's pretty interesting, but I want to hit our third segment real quick. We're going to talk about a quick market update for our county.
Sure.
And then, what we're seeing maybe in surrounding counties as well, but mostly for our county because that's what we really keep an eye on and try to stay on top of.
Yeah, and most of, we're very rural, obviously, and most of the communities around us and counties are as well. So that market shifts a little once you get up into the metro, but for most of the rural communities around us, it's pretty similar. Yeah,
it's trying to make that transition to a more balanced market. I feel like just from what I've seen, it's trying really hard. and what I really mean by that is we're seeing a lot of the smaller stuff that was still moving to the slowest bit move a little bit quicker. Again, those things that are those properties that are either higher in price point, whether they're listed where they need to be or they're a little bit higher priced, are still sitting for a while. I mean, our average days on market's right around 2.5 months. In Garvin County,
65 to 85 days. Is still average in Garvin County, and that's as a whole. That's over all price points. I think the lower price point, and when I say lower, just like under 250 is like kind of where I'm seeing
below
like
that average house.
It's kind of where I'm seeing like the break, like the 250 to 280 is the average home price in Garvin County. So homes at and under that are moving a little bit faster, especially ones that are in good condition,
absolutely,
stuff that's more on the move-in ready side, and then that is priced correctly from the beginning. That stuff is starting to move a little bit quicker. which we like. I mean, we're seeing closer to 30-day
Yeah.
on market and under. I mean, significantly under in certain cases on stuff that's positioned correctly.
Right.
But we are seeing some larger stuff move a little quicker as
Right.
well.
Yeah.
Again, I think it boils down to positioning.
Yeah. How many eyeballs are getting on
Immediately.
it? You know, where are you
Yeah.
positioned in the market? I mean, because you could be realistically, you could be too high,
Yep.
and a lot of folks are sitting in that bucket right now.
And I like to say positioning instead of pricing for several reasons, because it's not always about just the pricing. It's
Right.
like, how is the property presented? Is it
Right.
Does it have professional photography? Is it in its best light? Things like that. So
Right.
I think positioning takes it more of out of just the pricing
Right.
conversation. Like, is that conversation important? 100%. Is it the greatest majority of our positioning conversation? Also 100%.
No. Yeah.
But there's other things there. So
Yeah.
um,
You can't just slap a price on something and throw up like just random photos. Like it has to be all intentional.
yeah,
So
there's strategy there.
yeah, I mean, if
There's
you're sitting on the
strategy.
market, I mean, it's never just one thing, unless like it truthfully is. Because I mean, at least for our
But you
listings,
can boil that down.
yeah,
Like, if it has the professional photography, if it is being marketed heavy,
right,
and you're still not getting activity,
right.
it's most
Most likely
a pricing
price.
issue.
Yeah, or on the contrary, it could be priced properly, but if nobody's seeing it, they don't know it's for sale.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I mean,
Or they're seeing pictures that just don't do it justice.
mhm.
I mean, and sometimes, like, on higher end stuff, sometimes it's hard for the pictures to do it justice. I actually
Right.
had somebody tell me that on one of mine. They're like, this property was even more amazing. Like, your pictures
Right.
were good, but, like, it was more amazing in person. And
Right.
that particular property is just the views and, I mean, stuff that's hard to capture in a photo.
Yeah.
The feeling when you stand on the back porch and it's just like you can see for miles.
Yeah,
and
if we're thinking about the same one, that one is like completely different.
I don't
when
know
go
how
in
you
person.
capture that in a picture.
Right, absolutely. So it does; those things matter. But I think like you said, average days on market is slightly shorter than we've seen even just since the last time we covered our market
Yeah,
update.
it's gone down a smidge.
Yeah, a smidge. There's some buyers that are coming out. I don't think they're coming out as much as.
And I do still
like
think
to
like
see from
buyers
sellers.
overall have the upper hand. I think, they have the ability to negotiate some creative deals
Right.
that, they didn't a couple years ago.
Right.
Seeing a little bit more of like owner financing
Mhm.
coming through. I mean, we had that conversation about 2 separate properties yesterday.
Literally within 4 hours of each other.
Yes.
Yeah. So definitely people are getting creative and seeing how they can work a deal. But I do think buyers are feeling it now. We were talking about this 2 months ago where buyers were like, hey, this is a really great buyer's market because there's no competition. You can go and look at 8 properties and not worry about the one that you really liked leaving the market
that's
too soon.
Going away, not completely,
Right.
but on the well taken care of, well presented, well priced properties.
Yeah.
It is. I put one under contract last week, and somebody had made a lowball offer prior, trying to leverage that buyer's market, which nothing wrong with that.
Right. Absolutely.
But we didn't come to an agreement. We ended up coming to an agreement with a new buyer. Well, that buyer pops back up and is like, "Hey, I want to send a different offer," and I'm like, "Well, it's gone now."
Yeah, and I mean that's been a conversation I've had a lot this last week. Is like, hey, we're trying to get things together, but we've just been so busy with life because it is with school letting out. Like people have more time to go shop, but like that last week of school was such chaos.
It's so chaos.
Yeah.
For the consumer, and I think that's buyers that were heavy looking right before that last week or so of school kind of took a
big
breath.
step back.
They were like,
yeah.
okay, we're gonna breathe for just a second.
Right.
But now school's out. Well, it's out in some of the schools in our county. There's,
Right.
I know, Elmore City's still in school this week.
Right.
I think Pauls Valley's out. No. So
I think so.
Pauls Valley
Yeah.
and Wynnewood are out. Elmore's still in. I'm not positive about Maysville and Lindsay when their release dates are. And Paola, I'm not sure.
Yeah.
But I think Paola's out now too.
Yeah.
So we're still kind of
role.
transitioning into that full blown
summertime.
But then also I know like my daughter specifically this week, it's like, okay, you're out of school, but now you have softball camp for 3 hours in the morning, and then you have softball for 2 hours in the afternoon, and you have softball for 3 hours the next morning, and then you have a game, and so
there's still a lot of activities and things going on.
Yeah, so families that are looking to move and have kids, those schedules are still like, we're not in full blown summer schedule.
Not quite yet. And I don't think that we will see like a true summer market until maybe a month into summer, because I don't know, maybe I'm wrong on that.
Well, this weekend's Memorial Weekend, and I always feel like after Memorial Weekend, we kind of settle into like
true
that summer groove.
Yeah. Why is that? Are people relocating from schools more often than you think they did in the past?
Yeah, well, and I think I don't know that they're trying to move school districts necessarily, but I do think people move when their kids aren't in school on purpose.
Right.
Just because life's a little slower.
Mm-hmm. Try to avoid
even if they're moving within district, maybe they're staying in the same area.
Right.
But they wait until school's out to move just for stress and ease and, all of those things. So I think that's usually why we see that summer market pick up.
That and it's warmer.
Because who wants to move when it's cold outside?
That's all we did when
Just the people that have to.
Yeah, that's all we did when I was growing up. Well, I mean, we lived in Colorado, so really you only have 4 true months of warm weather.
Window.
Yeah, but I remember trying to move in the cold, and that is no fun. I don't think we'll ever try to do that again.
Yeah.
But yeah, I do think that we'll see that pick up after Memorial Day, which is crazy to think that we're already...
Memorial Day is next Monday.
Yeah, that's already... We're already halfway through the year, pretty much.
Yeah.
I mean, it's crazy.
Yeah, we're almost there.
Yeah, well, that was our market update for May the 19th. Again, this will come out probably around the 24th. So we'll try to keep you guys updated, probably once a month, I think is fair to give an update.
Yeah, just see kind of how we're shifting. I expect to see a little bit more shift over the next couple of months. Looking forward to it.
I mean, it doesn't really change a whole lot over the span of a month, but sometimes it does, and we'd really like to try to keep people...
But at least we can see, the trajectory. Okay, maybe we haven't had an extreme change in the last 30 days, but we're starting to see it inch in this direction. So just try to keep everybody updated as best we can on that front.
Yeah, or is it still an advantageous time to buy? Because sometimes that does change within that period.
Well, it's always good for somebody.
Yeah, absolutely.
It just depends on who in your situation.
Yeah, which we covered in our buyer's guide. That was 2 episodes ago now. So episode 6 of the podcast, you guys can find it on the YouTube channel. We're also posting shorts of it to YouTube Shorts, TikTok, Instagram Reels, those kind of things. So if you did miss out on some of this information and you don't want to sit through an hour-long podcast sometimes,
catch a snippet.
Catch the snippets on there, about a minute long, get all the information you need. Give us a follow on all those platforms too. That way you don't miss out on any good information. And hopefully we can help some people make some good deals the rest of this year. And, keep people informed. So I want to say thank you guys for tuning into this episode. It's episode 8.
8. We've done so good.
We're close to double digits. We're really close to double digits. So again, thank you guys so much for tuning in. It means the world to us that anybody listens to this podcast, and we're seeing a lot of people even comment in person that they see us online, all over the place now.
Yeah,
which is
I've
awesome.
had a lot of people bring it up. So that's awesome.
So that's
we're
really
glad
cool.
We're providing maybe a little bit of entertainment, a little bit of education.
Yeah, for sure. But thank you guys again, and we will see you guys in the next one, hopefully next week.
Go Thunder.
Go Thunder.